Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, if you're a business leader, a founder, or maybe a hiring manager, you're going to want to grab a notepad for this one. Seriously, we are about to completely shift how you look at building a technical team. We're going to dive into why finding the right tech talent isn't just, some checkbox on a Tuesday to-do list. It's actually the ultimate driver of your innovation, your growth, and for sure, your competitive advantage.
Technical hiring is a business strategy, not an HR activity. I really want that to sink in for a second. Think about our modern digital economy. Technology isn't just some back office support function anymore. No way. It's literally the engine of your entire operation. So, let's unpack exactly why your technical hires absolutely deserve a seat at the big strategic planning table.
I've got to ask you a pretty direct question right off the bat. Are you treating your most important asset like an administrative chore? Take a hard look at your own organization for a minute. When a tech role opens up, are you just frantically rushing to put a warm body in an empty seat to stop the bleeding? Or are you looking at it as a strategic investment in the future of your company? Because honestly, the difference between those two mindsets, that's the difference between a company that just survives and one that absolutely dominates.
Okay, here's our roadmap for this explainer. 1. Technology as the engine. 2. The cost of bad hires. 3. Beyond basic coding skills. 4. A strategic talent journey. And 5. The ExpertOnHire advantage. We're going to diagnose the pain of misaligned hiring, and then we'll reveal a concrete way to actually fix it. Section 1. Technology as the engine.
We really need to ditch that old administrative view from the 1990s, where hiring is purely an HR task focused on filling vacancies based strictly on resumes. Honestly, approaching modern tech recruitment like a basic resume screening task, it's kind of like trying to run a global enterprise using a fax machine. It just doesn't work. We have to embrace a strategic view instead, a view that recognizes hiring drives innovation. It's a critical business decision based on measurable value. Why? Because every single software developer, cloud architect, or AI pro you hire today literally dictates the products you're going to build and the customers you're going to serve tomorrow. Just think about what's actually driving modern business right now. We're talking reliable digital experiences, continuous innovation, data-driven decisions, artificial intelligence, global cloud scalability. It's huge. But here's the kicker. None of this happens automatically, right? AI doesn't just magically integrate itself into your workflow. Cloud platforms don't spontaneously scale to a global level on their own. These technologies only succeed because capable technical professionals make them happen. Products don't innovate themselves. People do.
Section 2. The cost of bad hires. So, what happens when we mess this up? Well, when you focus purely on speed, you fall into some really common traps. You start hiring based only on resumes. You overvalue a slick interview or paper certifications, while totally ignoring practical experience or whether they actually fit the role. With a limited technical assessment, it's basically like buying a used car based entirely on a shiny sales brochure. You have zero idea what's actually under the hood, and by rushing this whole process, you are actively setting your teams up to fail.
And the scariest part? It only takes just one single bad hire. The ripple effect of bringing one misaligned tech person onto your team is absolutely staggering. It goes way, way beyond just a wasted salary. Imagine a bad hire totally derailing an entire 2-week sprint because their undocumented code just keeps breaking the build. Suddenly, that one mistake introduces heavy technical debt, it slows down your product delivery, completely trashes project timelines, and worst of all, it shatters your customers' trust. The stakes are just way too high to guess on this.
Section 3. Beyond basic coding skills.
So, if we want to avoid that nightmare ripple effect and actually drive growth, what does an ideal hire actually look like? Well, we have to fundamentally redefine the modern technical professional. It's a talent who combines technical excellence with deep business awareness to create measurable value. See, successful companies rarely win long-term just because they have cool tech. They win because their people actually know how to apply that tech to solve real-world problems. It's not just about finding someone who can bang out code.
We need professionals who bring the whole package: business understanding, customer-focused thinking, total ownership and accountability. We need people with great communication skills, adaptability, and collaboration. When your engineers actually possess a deep understanding of the business and they work well together, they can respond to market changes and innovate so much faster. That's a real game changer.
Section 4. A strategic talent journey. So how do we actually get there? Well, it all builds step by step. It starts with your business vision, which dictates your technology strategy.
That strategy, in turn, has to drive your strategic hiring. Getting step 3 right is exactly what creates step 4, high-performing engineering teams. And it's those teams that actually generate business growth and innovation, which finally leads to your long-term competitive advantage. Strategic hiring isn't some isolated HR thing off to the side. It's literally the load-bearing bridge connecting your vision to your competitive advantage.
Section 5, the ExpertOnHire advantage.
All right, so this is where ExpertOnHire comes in as your strategic partner. They use a capability-first approach. What does that mean? It means identifying professionals who can actually solve real-world business and technical challenges. It completely shifts your organization away from relying on static resumes or, inflated job titles. Instead, the focus is entirely on proving actual practical capabilities. It's about what a candidate can actually do, not just what they claim they did on a piece of paper.
Here's exactly how they empower you to do that. They use AI-assisted talent matching, bring you verified technical experts, and use portfolio-based candidate evaluation. Add in structured technical assessments and practical skill validation, and suddenly you are making faster, significantly less risky decisions. They validate the practical skills before you ever even talk to the candidate. It cuts out the noise completely, so you aren't guessing anymore. You're making decisions based on rigorous proof.
Because at the end of the day, hiring technical talent isn't just about filling a role. It is about shaping the future of your business. The quality of the people building your technology is going to dictate your organizational success, for sure. When you finally make that shift, when you start viewing hiring as a strategic business move rather than just an administrative chore, you unlock a massive competitive edge.
And that brings us to their promise: smooth hiring, no noise. That's ExpertOnHire. It's a totally frictionless, highly strategic recruitment process that cuts through all the clutter to find the exact talent you need to build your future. So as we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with this one question to think about. If your technical team shapes the exact future of your business, are you hiring for today's vacancy or tomorrow's success? Take a hard look at your hiring pipeline right now and make sure you're building a team that actually secures your future. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll catch you on the next explainer.